no idea what's going on down there, but I'm sure it's all good things. Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is our DIY pool project. We got this natural limestone ledge behind us. We got some limestone retaining walls over here that we use limestone that we salvaged off of an old church. And we got some split face block down here. Look at that. We got this for free as well. And this is the step in the project that we're working on today, doing some more of the actual pool wall. Now we've got plans on how to make all this work. And I know you're sitting there thinking, I don't know how well that's gonna work. I promise you there's a plan, and we'll talk about it more today. What I'm super excited about is the first step is gonna be doing this undercut like we wanna do, because this rock is gonna be the waterfall feature, and we've gotta get the wall to go underneath that. I don't know how it's gonna work. I know how I think it's gonna work. I'm excited to see what plan I get to when it actually does work, you know? Got the laser spinning up down here. Slow is low, fast is high. Solid tone is perfect. Anything slow or solid is going to be fine for subgrade because we are compacting stone on top of it and then concrete on top of that to get it perfect. So I am a cab open type of fella, unless it's just downright frigid. But even if it's hot or chilly, 50s this morning, wild. Loving that. I just like having the cab open. Step one, we're gonna get that bucket flipped around because we're gonna dig underneath that shelf. Not too close? I might be too close. We're not necessarily trying to get scoops out of it, like actually scooping the dirt out. We just got to get it peeled off of there. There's no sense in swinging quarter scoops. Well, basically we just kind of scrape the underside of this to where we can flip the bucket around the traditional way, and then we can swing full scoops out. It's just a way for us to work this dirt off the bottom side. What you hope is that a big chunk doesn't fall off and pull the whole machine down. That'd be something, wouldn't it? So before this is all finalized and we call it good, we'll take an SDS. Well, actually, we'll probably just take the jackhammer, the demolition hammer. We'll come in with a spade bit and we'll make sure that we got everything delaminated off. We want delaminated, and then we'll come up through and we'll bolt an epoxy all the way across this stone to make sure it stays as one cohesive unit, because it is made in layers and there's a chance over time with some freeze and thaw that it's going to want to separate from itself. So that is something we will do at some point in the future. Certainly not today. Let's switch the bucket around. And finish cleaning up the bottoms. So I'm okay to about here, which is fine. Because I've only got so much reach on this machine, we're gonna scoop back, do a little bit of work over there. We gotta kind of stage our way out of the hole here. Because once we come up and out of there, the final grade in this section, that machine won't fit down here anymore. So I gotta do a little bit of work over here before we get all the way out. We're gonna clean this slope up. I gotta grab a few rocks and get them placed and staged up in here for the eventual rock bottom that we're doing through there. Not the best bucket for the game, but that's what we got right now. We're just gonna kind of place them close to where we're gonna use them, and then we'll manipulate them later whenever we do final placement. Oh man, can't quite reach it, huh? You know what that means. Let's sketch it up a little. Let's not hit the wall. Oh yeah, I like that. That's fun. Easy. That'll work for now. Do I want any more of these? So that big feller is going to go right in there, and these will kind of fill in some of these holes. I wouldn't be against having one more kind of blocky one to put right there where that dead piece of poison ivy's laying. That's what we're looking for, right around the backside. Yeah. Easy. Sometimes she gets lurchy like that. I don't know what that's about. That will eventually go in this area, right here. Okay. We'll just do a little polishing on the way up. Nothing crazy. Let's get this shoved down the hill out of the way. I think we're going to end up with a nice decent flat spot over here too for something in the future maybe. Changing rooms? I don't know. Who knows? It could be anything. So digging this section out is the next step. A lot of people ask if I have plans for this. We're just making it up as we go, so I got to visualize it here for just a second. But this is going to be the walk-in entrance side. And I got a couple options. I could try to dig some steps out of the dirt and then lay everything up. Or I could just dig it out the same level and then we lay the steps in like, well, we're laying this bench in. And I want to be big, comfortable steps. Not like residential steps. I want almost like a platform. Like you step in, you're like, ooh, you know? And then the next platform is up to your shins. You're like, oh, okay. But starting this way more. Starting over here, where this rock's jutting out of the ground. Let's just eyeball it and see what happens. before I get too far that way, we need to go ahead and run the concrete and some block on this back section, and then we can keep on going around that corner. Not gonna be able to reach all the way over there, but we can get her somewhat close, I think. Oh, a little dirt in that one. That's all right. Yeah, maybe not close at all. Set it to the top of this stone. Oh. I can't really see underneath this with the excavator, but hopefully we can get close, huh? I can't see. I don't want to rake anymore than I have to. It's not bad. Saccharine goes relatively quick, so let's go ahead and get some wire pushed down in this section. Let's set a top of concrete grade here. Let's use that to run the grade on the concrete. Oh shoot. We need a lot more yet. All right, we got 4 more bags mixed up. No idea what's going on down there, but I'm sure it's all good things. Yeah. Love it. Love it. That's a word some people use for things. It would be pretty easy to get out of sorts on the diameter, no, circumference maybe? Who knows? It'd be pretty easy to get out of sorts running a 4-foot level all the way around. Oh, we'll just hit it with a laser. And that'll be that. Now remember, we talked about it on the previous video a little bit. But the point of this concrete and this wire is to act as kind of like a collar. One, we're sitting split face down, so it gives us a bed to put that awkward face in. And two, any pressure that's pushing this way at the very bottom, it helps keep it from kicking out on the bottom side of the wall. That's the thought process anyway. It's pretty good. Ran up and got 4 more bags of concrete. By the time I got back down here, concrete is set up to how I'd like it. So let's go ahead and get these blocks run. I'm gonna set the laser to the top of the block now, and we're gonna run that. It'll do the trick. Now here, it's gonna be the tricky part. It's what's this transition here. And I don't know what to do there. And that just occurred to me. You know, that I just looked at it and I was like, what's the plan, Mike? I don't know. I didn't have one. People are always asking for my bloopers. My whole life is one big blooper, fellas. I ain't hiding anything from you. I ain't got the time to do that. Have an idea. I don't know if it's a good one, but I got one. Okay. I try to edit out my heavy breathing, but to be honest, we'd lose a lot of video. Hopefully, we can get this to work for us. See how it just sets down that for us? I mean, that should definitely help lock everything in place. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and glue on the next course, and I'll make sure we're somewhat running flat anyway. We're setting these back just a little bit so the wall has a little bit of an outer lean to it. So I've got 6 bags of Saccharete left. We'll probably only take about 4. But we're gonna go ahead and get this section here finished out next, 2 rows. And then we're gonna get the excavation finished out, digging that back where it needs to go, getting that stepped back to where it's supposed to go. And maybe a little bit more stone down here. I don't know, we'll just see what the time allows here. That was looking so good though. I mean, you can just imagine it curving around. You don't have to imagine it. We're gonna do it. Just a few minutes. No imagining required. I'm gonna let that sit for just a little bit, just like we did this side. While we're waiting, let's go ahead and start getting the next step of excavation done. Now that I don't need to reach that far, we can scoot on back some. Oh, it's still a little moist. Well, that's all the stacking we're going to get knocked out in this one. We still got quite a bit of dirt work I want to try to get knocked out. Let's reset the laser to subgrade. We got to get that stepped back. We lose a little bit of stone doing it like this, but just because of the limited reach of the machine, I don't really have, well, nothing that comes to mind right now, a better way to do that. We're not losing too much though. So because we're gonna have to make a retaining wall there, right? The shelf keeps going into the hill. We're curving out away from it. Obviously, with all that material, we don't want a retaining wall that high, at least I don't. So we're gonna step it back. Remember, this is gonna be the walkway that goes up around the back side of the wall to get up to the road area. That's how you kind of come down into it. And then we'll have a walkway that goes around. So I just need a width here wide enough for the walkway. I got Canadian, I don't know what happened there. So we're just gonna try a bucket width about halfway down and see what the material looks like. If it looks not as good as I expect, then we can always stair step it up more or make the terraces not as tall. But if we get into that mudstone, that shale rock, I'd be comfortable with one big step. clay right on, oh, there's a tree. We got a little clay right on the top, but that's expected. Although I'm scraping rock right there, so. All right. Curious what we're gonna get into right here. I didn't expect that to be there. Just clean down the front of it here. I think that's gonna kind of be close to our elevation and where we're gonna go. All right, I'm happy with what we're looking like there. I don't know where the heck you guys are looking up here. Oh, that's a fine looking boulder. Just set that over here for now. Guessing I can shape this real quick. And then, you know, lessons learned right here. And we'll see if we can get that dug out to where it needs to be. We still got to get underneath that a little bit, but we're getting pretty close to how I need it. So, had a feel out of time. We'll do a couple more hours though the following day, get some feel for the machine. I want to at least get the excavation finished out so we can see what the final shape's going to look like. So new day, I just splashed a little bit of fuel in. I got to get my Vever fuel station moved back up to the property sometime. I actually just recently bought a small trailer off my brother, and I think we're going to set that fuel system up on that little trailer. Be easier for me to move around, but anywho, see if we can get this finished out. How cool would it be to get one of those canvas cabins, those glamping style canvas cabins set up out here. You talk about a sweet glamping spot. Right next to your own personal, whatever the heck this thing is we're building. All right, final tour. So now you have the final shape. Here's what's happening. That wall is gonna curve right on around, continue curving around until that point. that wall then carries straight across. Once it gets to the right height, once the backfill gets to the right height, then the backfill continues over into this space. Another wall gets formed up here. So you'll have a little bit of a platform in this area, about 3 feet of depth, not depth of water, but depth of the platform, or large step, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll get some sort of steps going on up through here. This wall will go the full height, and then over here, we'll have to measure it out. Maybe a couple more courses up, then that'll get backfilled and go back. And this will essentially be a bench that you can sit on underwater, like you kind of do in a hot tub. You know, you got a place to sit in a hot tub so you can be in the water and not just floating on top of it, but also not wading around. You're just sitting in it. This is what this is going to be, a built-in bench to that. And once we get above this, we'll step back just a touch, I mean, just the height of the wall, and then stack a retaining wall in there as well. And we'll use that nice cut limestone through there so it'll look appealing. This doesn't matter, it all gets covered up with a liner, and we've got some other things we have to do to that wall before we put a liner in with a subliner and other things like that, but that's what we're looking like. That's how we're going to shape out. So you'll just be able to kind of easily walk down into it like this. Beautiful. Nothing left to the imagination now about the size of what this is going to be. Looks pretty good. A little bit of imagination left for how we got to finish these walls and these walkways out. So hopefully we'll get to that real soon. Next video will be on the Ford 555 because Messix was fantastic and literally next day'd that part. I don't know how they did it. I didn't request that. They just did it because they're amazing, I guess. I don't know if they always do that or not. But I've got the part for the Ford 555, so we're going to get that repaired because we have to have that to get material up and down the hill down here. All right, enough rambling. I'm going to work on the backhoe so we can get that taken care of. And I hope I get to see you guys on the next one.